Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. Oh my goodness, we are joined by the lovely Elizabeth and Dr. Anne. How are you both doing?
Very
Great.
well, thank you.
Thank you for having us, Mickey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'm super excited because Elizabeth, I would like to know. I know that Divina Ann is your guide in the Modern Mystery School. And I know she's on the call, but I want to get her perspective as well. But what is the point of having a spiritual guide in the first place? I mean, does it actually do anything? And, has it worked for you? Could you share?
Yeah, well, I can only speak from my perspective, but I found having a spiritual guide really, really helped me, especially when I wanted to navigate where I was going along my path. So although I started, with Empower Thyself and my initiation, I think where I was in my life really, and the questions I had determined kind of where I was going to go, on my path and what classes I was going to take. Because every question that I had, there was always a class coming up that had the answer. It was, very much like that. So, and that it was kind of a progression like that. And I felt like having my spiritual guide really helped, answers the questions that I had. And especially if I came to hurdles, if I had hurdles in my life where I was like, oh, I don't know if I can achieve this. And, Anne really helped me put into perspective what, if I was causing the hurdle myself, or if it was actually a hurdle that, that I had to overcome or I had to navigate around to get to where I wanted to go. So I found that my guide really, really helped me in that aspect. And she made me see it, in a way that was, of everything that was happening in my life. It wasn't about Anne. She was always helping me. It was about where I was going. So she wasn't really ever influencing my life, like, guide, well, you have to do this or you have to do that. It was very gentle and it was very, natural. It was really organic. And, yeah, and I really felt like it's really helped me. I found it's very important for me to have my guide. It was really important for me. And she gave me a lot of answers along the way that made a lot of sense. So yeah, for me, has been a really intricate part of my progression, personally, and also professionally. I found that she was able to help me in a lot of aspects of my life, guiding me and also reminding me, like, Liz, you have tools for this. Remember this class? Or, that kind of like always bringing, remember you did this class. This is, use this now. And I'm be like, oh yeah, and made life, oh gosh, why didn't I think of that? So not only is she guiding, but she's already reminding me, remember, so that's really good. Yeah.
I really love that point. That number one, I loved many of those points, but I love that point of, okay, she helped you to see where you were creating the hurdles, or if the hurdle was there ready for you to jump.
And I created a lot.
Hey, it's all of us. This is great. This is what we need a guide for, because they're not there just to say, "Oh, poor you, poor you." There's No, you actually, maybe that's you put the hurdle there. Oh, don't worry, you can jump over it.
Yeah. It was really, and I achieved so much because of that. It was really good. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I also love that point when you said she wasn't there to tell you what to do in life. She didn't like influence you. It was just there to remind you had the tools and, hey, you can use this or you can do this. Or I love that.
And also too, I'm really lucky to have such a wonderful guide. So thank you, Anne, for everything you do for me. But also too, I think when I needed healings, and Anne was able to provide certain healings for me that I, mightn't have been able to get, So like one of the great ones have been like the modern the King Soloman lineage healings. I found was amazing. So, they're able to provide higher healings as well for you, to help you along the way as well. So I found that was really, really amazing,
Great.
and being
That is an excellent
blessed.
point. Yeah, that's an excellent point, because they've trained their higher level
Yeah.
initiates, and the highly trained, they will be able to provide those sessions that not everybody needs, or
No.
it's those kind of things that are specialist for us when we're walking along the path, and that's so key. I find that too. Yeah, I love that.
Just
Let's ask Anne. Let's get her involved, because we've heard so much about you, Divina Ann. We're going to bring you in. Now, tell us, what do you think? If people are out there, they're looking for a spiritual guide, maybe somebody to help them, what should they be looking out for? Or what should they be not wanting or wanting? I mean, either or.
A great question. A great question. When I found my spiritual guide way back in the day, I realized that this was a person who was able to see a wee bit like being my cheerleader in a way spiritually, because I had a certain amount of connection to myself spiritually, but I had no idea of what was really, really possible. And I always felt when my guide saw me, she could see something much bigger than what I was actually allowing myself in my life. So I feel, what a spiritual guide is good for is being able to help us to see our true potential, and giving us and when I talk about true potential, if you're a member of the general public out there and you've never done any spiritual work before, I'd been working as a GP and a medical doctor, and I just realized there was other keys to health and healing that I was really looking for. And when I realized that there was a path to help discover much more about me and my being, not just being physical, but also being a soul being and a spiritual being, giving me much more insightfulness into everything in life, everything I was doing, my relationships, my work, my capacity to do more. I realized that yes, there was a path. And honestly, when you come to the path for the first time, it's a wee bit, there's so much that you can do, and you want to do it all at once. And your guide is someone who can really help you to understand what the next natural step is going to be, instead of trying to do everything all at once. Because I know I was one of these people who just, wanted to do it all. But I realized that there was a process to that was going to benefit me most, because we have to integrate, what we learn and what we discover about ourselves, and put into practice, so that we then discover more about what this spiritual life is all about. And for me, it was all about service. Because until we start really serving, and as a guide, that is what you do, you serve those that come to you. Not in a way, as you were saying, Ipsis Immaculate, where you would actually, go all per me and this sort of thing, but you're actually helping the person to see their ability to overcome something. It's not about enabling, it's about empowering. And that is what this path is about. It's about empowerment.
I love it. Our time is whizzing by. We've only got a minute or two left. So, Elizabeth, what would you say to somebody out there looking for their guide? Have you got any top tips or any pointers that you could share with them?
I would say, for me, I chose the Modern Mystery School and the lineage of King Soloman, because of the teachings, and there's so much in the path to learn metaphysically, and because of that, I chose a guide in the lineage, because I felt that it was for me. but it had the teachings and the background and the history and a long thousands of years of teachings that have lasted up till today. And yeah, and when I found Anne, I just knew that, I just knew within myself, deep down, that this, this was my guide for me, and there was a like inner knowing and inner trusting that this, so I would say go with what you know, because it's normally right. That feeling, that deep feeling that, yeah. So that's how I chose. That's why I chose that path, is because I just knew that I was home.
Oh, wow, that
was my home.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
You just know that that was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It makes total sense. And I am 100% with you. I also chose lineage. I was like, okay, lineage, and then I knew, who my guide was. So
yeah. And I don't know if there's I don't know all the other ones, paths that I did try had no guide. There was teachers, but there was no one really guiding you and giving you that compassion and understanding and trust, and having a relationship with my guide. There was just nothing out there that I personally had come across. Anything like that. I get the support and the guidance with in the light. That's all of the light, because there's other paths, but it wasn't the light that you get in the lineage. That support.
Yeah.
For the better purpose.
Yeah, I agree. Any final words, Dr. Ann? Any final words?
In all honesty, I know being a guide is one of the greatest privileges of my life, and I am so grateful to be able to do this work. And I know that everyone who becomes a guide within the mystery school goes through so much excellent training to get to where they are. And and the lineage does that for us. It helps us to really unravel the stuff that isn't truly us, that brings us to a place where we can be, bringing through that light, as Liz has just explained it so beautifully. So yes, thank you for the lineage.
Yeah.
And thank you for the privilege of this being guide, and thank you, Elizabeth, for coming to me and for giving me the honor of being your guide.
Well, thank you for everything. It's been wonderful. And on my journey, so much more to discover.
I know, and it's still lots more exciting adventure to happen. So thank you both so much. I know we're going to have you both back on discussing more about the relationship of guide and how that works. I think it's a very hot topic right now. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Take care for now.